What if the life you see isn't the whole story? What if you are more than this body, more than this world, more than what you've been told? In the pages of What If, you'll step into questions that open doors, stories that shift your perspective, and reflections that remind you of who you really are.
What if this life you see is not the whole story? What if you are more than this body, more than this world, more than what you've been told? Hi, I'm Willie Knight. I wrote What If because I believe we are all much more than what we realize. This book is an invitation, a journey to awaken the truth within you. Some of you, when you listen to this video and this book, it's going to be hard for your five senses to comprehend some of the stuff. Your soul and your spirit will pick it up. But after you listen to it a few times, you're going to have something inside of you that's going to awaken to what I'm really talking about, or what this book is talking about. I didn't write this from my head thinking about it. I wrote this book from a source, the Spirit. You can call it God. It was downloaded to me to write this book because the world needs to be awakened to what's going on within you, because we look at the world, we blame everything on the devil, we blame everything on God. But you got to realize one thing: you are the painter of your life. You are the designer of this life. It's taken me time to understand this. I had my first encounter at the age of 5 years old, laying in bed, looking at myself, looking at me. I know a lot of you say, well, he's crazy. Well, you're going to eventually recognize who you really are. And I hope in this video that you'll be able to see and listen and understand and learn what I'm about to tell you, because you need to be awakened. You are asleep right now in this three-dimensional world. Everything that's going on in your life, you are the one that's responsible for that. Nobody has put those things into your life. Now what you have when you came here is one thing that separates you: free will to make a decision, a choice. This book is going to be an open mind adventure to who you really are and what your purpose is here. So I hope you take the time to listen to this video over and over and over again, because it's going to awaken something in you that's been dormant ever since you've been here. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I don't take up much of your time. Thank you. Enjoy.
Introduction: The Illusion of Separation. What if I told you that the life you are living right now is not what it seems? What if the world you see, the time you follow, the struggles you face, all of it is part of a grand illusion, one that you created? We are not who we think we are. We've been taught to believe that we are limited to this body, this name, this job, this routine. But deep within you, beyond your thoughts, your fears, your memories, there is a truth waiting to be remembered. A truth that knows. You are not just human. You are a divine creator. You chose this life. You are here to awaken. From the moment you took your first breath and cried out as a newborn, it wasn't just the air of this world entering your lungs. It was the shock of being separated from the spiritual realm where you came from. You were once fully aware, fully conscious. Now, you're in a temporary dream called the 3D reality. But here's the secret: your spirit never forgot. You are the writer, director, and main actor in your life's story. Every moment, every person, every challenge, you chose it. Why? To learn. To experience. To remember. This book is not about religion. This is about awakening. What if Jesus wasn't just a savior to worship, but a mirror of your own potential? He said, "I do nothing but what my Father tells me." He knew who he was. He was aligned with Source. That same Source lives in you. The same power. The same connection. You are not a mistake. You are not powerless. You are not small. You are a soul having a physical experience in a three-dimensional world. You came here with purpose, with free will, with the ability to shift your story at any time. We are all in a deep sleep right now, living through routine, pain, distraction, and illusion. But death is not the end. It is the awakening. It is the return to your truest self. So let me ask you, what if you knew your purpose in this life? What if you remembered your past lives? What if your pain, your relationships, your struggles, your timing, all of it was part of your soul's design? Would you live differently? Let's find out together. 1. The spiritual contract, why you chose this life. 2. The awakening, what it means to truly remember. 3. Jesus and the mirror of divinity. 4. The illusion of time, death, and routine. 5. The mind, the soul, and the spirit, the Trinity within. 6. Rewriting your script, free will and spiritual power. 7. Religion versus connection, reclaiming your inner authority. 8. Signs, symbols, and divine appointments. 9. Dying to live, what happens when we wake up. 10. Living awake, how to be spirit first in a physical world. Chapter 1, The Spiritual Contract, why you chose this life. Before you were born, you chose. You didn't land on this earth by accident. You weren't tossed into a body and dropped into a random life. Long before you took your first breath, you made an agreement. A sacred one. In the spiritual world, where there is no time, no pain, no ego, you were fully awake. You were light, energy, and consciousness. You knew yourself as whole, complete, eternal. And yet, you desired something more. Not more power, not more glory, but more experience. Because without contrast, even the divine becomes still. So you looked at Earth, a realm of time, choice, emotion, suffering, and beauty, a place where spirit could forget itself just long enough to remember again, and you said, "Yes, I will go." You selected your body, your parents, the place of your birth, even the people you would love and the ones who would break you open. Every soul in your life you've met before. Some are companions, some are challengers. All are mirrors to your soul's unfolding. And then, you pass through the veil. From spirit to flesh. From knowing to forgetting. The moment your body was born and cried out, it wasn't just breath entering, it was your spirit entering density. You felt the shock. The separation. The forgetting. But you never lost your contract. It lives inside your soul. It whispers in dreams, déjà vu, moments of deep knowing. You are not just a person. You are a soul on assignment. So why did you choose this life? Maybe to heal. Maybe to teach. Maybe to love someone back into the light. Maybe to remember your power in a world designed to make you forget. But you did choose. And you are still choosing every day. This chapter is the key to everything that follows. Because once you accept that your soul is the author, You stop living like a victim and start living like a creator. Chapter 2, The Awakening, What It Means to Truly Remember. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the world you once knew begins to crack. It may happen after a tragedy, or in a moment of stillness. Sometimes, it's a whisper you can't unhear. Other times, it's a storm that shakes your entire foundation. But the message is always the same. Wake up. You've forgotten who you are. This is the beginning of the awakening. Not a religious awakening. Not a self-help breakthrough. But a deep soul remembrance. A return to the truth that was always inside you, hidden beneath the noise of this world. Let me be clear, awakening is not easy. It's not clean. It's not always peaceful. In fact, it often feels like your world is falling apart. Why? Because the illusions must collapse before the truth can rise. The illusion that you are your job. The illusion that love comes from others. The illusion that life is about survival. The illusion that you are powerless, broken, small. You were never any of those things. You are divine consciousness in human form. You are the breath of God in a body. You are the creator of worlds. But awakening is like opening your eyes after a long sleep. At first, the light hurts. Your vision is blurry. You question everything you ever believed. And that's exactly the point. You cannot awaken while holding on to everything that kept you asleep. You begin to see signs, numbers, dreams, strange synchronicities. You feel a pull towards something greater, something unexplainable but deeply familiar. And then it clicks. You were never alone. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. The pain had purpose. The losses were lessons. The people who hurt you were part of your growth. This is not spiritual fantasy. This is spiritual memory. You've done this before. You've walked through lifetimes. You've awakened in other forms, other bodies, other times. And now, you are waking up again. Not to become someone else, but to return to who you've always been. You start asking different questions. Who am I, really? What is this life for? What lies beyond the physical? How can I live fully awake? And slowly, gently, your soul starts to answer. Not in words, but in knowing. In stillness. In presence. And that is the key. Awakening isn't about gaining new knowledge. It's about remembering what your soul already knows. When you awaken, fear fades. You no longer need to control. You begin to trust. You remember that every moment is sacred. That every breath is a prayer. That your life is not a series of accidents, but a divine unfolding. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply remembering. So breathe. You're not lost. You're waking up. And you'll never see the world the same again.